Welcome to Midlife Schmidlife, the online community for listeners who want to redefine the middle years and recreate their lives lived to the fullest. Join our host, Liz Applegate, as she interviews guests over the age of 40 who are turning their maybe somedays into today and going after their dreams. Let's get the party started.
Hey Schmidlifers, Liz Applegate here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode on the Midlife Schmidlife podcast. I have been loving having these conversations that I am calling Now More Than Ever. And I started this, I'm trying to decide if I'm calling this a series. I'm not exactly sure what I'm calling it. But I just felt that this place where we are now, and as I am recording this, it actually is the start of May in 2020. The conversation that I'm going to share with you in a bit was recorded the last week of April, so just a few days ago of 2020. And we are right now in the midst of a global pandemic for coronavirus. I'm actually not really sure how to say it right. Is it COVID-19? Is it coronavirus? I should do more research into that. I know that I should. But to be honest with you, I'm at this stage where I know that I need to limit my news consumption. And so to be perfectly honest with you, doing any type of research about that probably is not going to happen. And that is for my own self-care, because I know that I can very easily slip down into a place where I'm not being able to show up my best self. And I know that to care for myself, I need to really watch the outside influences that I am allowing in. And that is on a day-to-day level. That's not even talking about the level where we are now. So if I use incorrect references, please know it's not because I don't care, but it is just a way that I am needing to protect myself and care for myself. And I want to invite you to do the same, whatever that means. And one way that I feel is very important to be aware of is processing our emotions that are coming up. Now, we've been at this now for a while. It's, globally, it started way before it hit us in the U.S. For the U.S., and I am down in Texas. It became very apparent in early March, what was happening. For me, my oldest son lives in Seattle, which is an area that was hit very early and very hard. And so I was aware of things getting serious before most people in Texas realized that it was getting serious. And so my husband and I have actually been staying home in place now for longer than some people that we actually know. So for me, even though I am now at the beginning of May, I still have a lot of emotion coming up. I feel like the roller coaster has evened out a little bit. Maybe the super high highs are not being matched by the super low lows. And so those ups and downs are a little easier to predict and a little less volatile. But I will say it's still there. The emotions are still there. The feelings can come up very unexpectedly. Friday, I felt like crying all day. And that's just something that I am learning and accepting within myself, that where I am right now is okay. And I want you to also give yourself that permission and that acceptance, that wherever you are right now, whatever emotions you have coming up, they are okay. It is okay to still be afraid. It is okay to also experience joy. It is you are capable of having those two dual emotions present. And one thing that I was really super excited about was when my guest Deb Cooperman said that she wanted to come and have a conversation with me. If you remember that I am actually having these conversations on Facebook. Let me start over. So here's something else you have to be aware of. I am giving myself permission to do these intros in one take so that I don't have to go back and make them perfect. So another instance that I want you to give yourself permission for is to just try something new. Just try something new and feel like you don't have to get it perfect. So here I am, not perfect, but what I did want to remind you is that I am having these conversations via Facebook Live first, and then I am bringing them over here and sharing them with you on the podcast. And so when Deb said that she wanted to come and join me, I was just so excited. I love the work that she does. She is a coach and a workshop leader, and she helps women process their feelings and discover who they are before the world told them who they should be. And Deb has been running workshops. They are pay as you can workshops, and she has several coming up. Actually next week on May 6th, May 13th, May 21st, and June 2nd. And she is calling them Write Your Stress Out writing sessions. I shouldn't call them workshops. They're actually sessions. So I will have a link in the show notes. So please be sure and go over and click on those and sign up. I will not be able to attend this week on the 6th, but I am looking to attend on the 13th, and I would love to have you join me in that. Deb actually works with people who don't call themselves a writer as well. So if you are one of those people, I am raising my hand. I actually share my story a little bit in this conversation that we are having. So even if you don't consider yourself a writer, I would love for you to consider one of these writing sessions with Deb. She really talks about why it's important to process your emotions and your feelings, and especially now, to have that opportunity to meet in community with other women and to have the space and just the freedom to be able to write what's on your heart, write what is stressing you out, write about your joy, whatever is coming up for you, just to be able to get it out on paper and out of our heads is so very important. Now, Deb is the founder of Write Your Way Free and the Writer Babes, and these are methods that help women uncover and rediscover what matters most to them when so much of the world conspires to fit them into some disempowered, patriarchal, airbrushed pop culture, social media, and fat-phobic diet culture norm. Raising my hand to that one too. Deb has been at this for over 20 years, and we have a lot of fun in this conversation, and I think that you really are going to enjoy it. Just as a word of warning, this is a conversation between two adult women. So there are adult words in this conversation, as with most of my conversations. So just consider yourself warned. If there are children that are in the room, you may want to put them in another room with the iPad. So just so you know, you have been warned. But I hope that you will enjoy this conversation. Please come back for next week. I have my great friend Valerie Tooks, and we are going to be talking about health and wellness and why it's so important now more than ever. So for right now, let's head over and listen to the conversation with Deb Cooperman. Yes, we're live. Yay.
Yay.
And now I'm kind of fuzzy. My Zoom has been acting weird. Like I get out of focus. There we go.
Look at
Whatever.
that beautiful light.
Whatever. I'm still fuzzy, but hey, Facebook
Kind of
land.
good at our age, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the blur.
Barbara Streisand.
Simpler.
Vaseline.
There we go. Hey, Deb.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, we're here. Hello.
We're here. Yeah, we're a couple minutes late, but that's, we were chatting and technology-ing, and no, it's all good. Hey, it's all good. So, hey, Facebook land, I'm Liz Applegate, and I'm here, and podcast land too, because I stream this over on the Midlife Schmidlife podcast. So I'm here with my guest today, Deb Cooperman, and we're going to talk about processing our feelings through writing, or our emotions / feelings through writing, which I feel is very important during this time. And I'm really excited to have you here, Deb.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here too. This is good stuff.
It is good stuff. And I'm just loving the, people I've reached out to, they're all like, it can be just kind of last minute. I think I contacted you like last week. I was like, hey, do you want to do a Facebook Live? And you're like, sure. Yeah. So
my schedule is so full right now.
There's a great beauty to that, right? So it's
right?
kind of like we can just show up when we can, and we just start like putting stuff out there. It's such a time of permission, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we chatted a little bit before we got online, but we didn't discuss this. So how are you doing? Like, how are you really doing, like, right now during all of this?
I feel like, there's this part of me that knows I'm incredibly fortunate. I live in a wonderful place. I call it the beautiful boonies. I usually joke about how I live in the boonies because I'm so far away from so many things. But at a time like this, it's lovely because I have, a beautiful yard that I can walk with my dog, and, and I'm used to working from home. And so that hasn't been an adjustment for me. The adjustment is not being able to see people when I would like to, and going to the grocery store is like panic inducing.
Right.
But generally I'm doing okay. I'm nervous. My dad's in Florida and it's far, and it's, and I've seen my brother and my sister, but we have to stand 6 feet apart. It's fucking weird, but
it is fucking weird.
Generally I think I'm doing okay. I've said to you before we got on, I have a little tickle in my throat, which of course every time there's a little something, I'm like,
oh no, I know.
I told my husband, I think I should sleep in the guest room. He's like, yeah, just sleep in the guest room. I said, but
right. But you never know.
Right? So
I don't want you to get it.
Guest room? Should I sleep in the guest room? And should I wear gloves around the...
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm okay. How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah. It's, so I live in Texas, and it's high allergy season. So I'm going through the same thing, like every little bit of cough, my husband's been coughing. I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. So we both have been like, I'm fine. I feel like a lot of the roller coaster emotions of when this first started are kind of leveling out a little bit more. Yeah. Not so much up and down for me. I say that it's only Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Is it what day is it? Right.
Yeah.
A week. What month?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are we?
We're almost in May. I know that.
How the?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I know. Right.
But yeah, so that's how I am. Like, I feel like it's kind of leveled out. There was a lot of like ups and downs when this first started, and now I feel like a little more even, which is
a little like, I definitely get hooked by some of the decisions that are going on politically.
Oh yeah. We could do a whole other podcast on that one. Yes.
Yeah. But so that can kind of, that can send me off. I can be having a really good day, and then I see something and I'm like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. What the bleep?
Yeah, no.
Even though you didn't say it.
No, oh no, I say it.
You say it.
But
yeah, we got it.
Facebook, I swear a lot.
That's all right. Me too. It's all good.
Yeah.
So Texas is getting ready to open back up on Friday. So not fully.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
But I think it's really interesting. There was just a little protest in New Jersey down at the State House yesterday. open up, and,
Right.
all this stuff about our governor, who's been being absolutely amazing. And saying, I will open when science says it's okay to open. And they're all going like, freedom, liberty, give me liberty or give me death. And I'm like, both. You're going to get both.
Yes.
Yeah. But I watch that, and I think, they're going out without masks, and I mean, some have masks, but that worries me. But I think most people are saying, even if they open, most people are not wanting to go out.
Right. Yeah. So my husband and I actually sheltered in place before the state had that, whatever they had. I don't know what they're calling it,
but people were doing that because they saw what was happening.
Right. My son lives in Seattle, and so that was an area that was hit really hard.
Right.
And really early. And so we were paying attention to that long before I think most people were. So we've been sheltering in place for a while, but like you said, working from home, I feel like that has not been such a shock. Now my husband's home 24/7 now, which that's been an adjustment, but for us and working, it hasn't been too bad.
Yeah. My husband's a therapist.
Okay.
And that has been a real adjustment for him. He's still going to his office because there's, I think, laws on doing tele stuff.
Oh, okay.
At least in New York laws, you have to be in New York, and his practice is in New York. And so he has to commute to his office, even though he's on the phone. He's not seeing patients in person. So I don't have him, around as much, but so that's my life is still pretty much the same during the week. But I do worry, even though he's just anytime you leave the house, it's like
exactly. Yeah. It's just interesting how this has shifted so much for us, so on so many levels.
Yeah.
And that was one reason why I wanted to talk to you, because you so first of all, I want you to introduce yourself. I'm sorry, like I'm talking like I know what you do, but other people don't. So hey, Deb, I would love to hear what you do.
I do. I let's see, what's the best way of explaining this? I help women. That whole idea. I mean, sorry, I'm really articulate.
No, you're fine.
That whole idea of, who were you before the world told you who you were supposed to be, that whole idea that I think it happens to everybody. But I think for women in particular, the world conspires to put us into like acceptable boxes. You should look like this, but not too much like that. You should act like this, but not too much like that. You should be a mom, but you should also work, and you should, and so I think, to sort of separate ourselves from what we have accepted and the shit that we've made up about how we're supposed to be in our lives, it becomes so inculcated because the family that we grew up in had an influence. The community that we grew up in had an influence. The schools had an influence. And then you go, Madison Avenue had an influence.
Sure.
The movies, everything influences us. And to sort of pull apart what the cultural conditioning is, what the patriarchal conditioning is, that puts us in a place where we're making decisions about who we're supposed to be that have nothing to do with who we are.
Right.
And so my work helps women kind of pull that stuff apart. And the tool for doing that is writing. I have a methodology that helps women kind of get in, and it's not a magic bullet or anything. It's definitely a practice.
Sure.
It's not going to 6 steps to get you to feel like,
Wonder Woman.
No,
there's no 6 steps for that.
No. No.
Yeah. So that's what I love, because you and I work around those same things. So those are what I call the good girl rules, right?
Yep.
Like it's just exactly.
I know. I loved when I saw you start talking about it that way.
Yeah.
It's just, hello.
Yeah. It's like, I think all women, and I think maybe less. I feel like we are teaching a younger generation of women not to conform so much, but no shit, please. But I feel like women within a certain area, certain age groups, kind of like every time I say good girl rules, they'll go, oh, those things. Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
So everybody kind of understands it. So, and so what I wanted to talk to you about, well, I know for one, you're having these wonderful workshops, or are you calling them workshops, these writing
Yeah, writing
workshops? Yeah.
sessions, little
Writing
mini sessions.
sessions.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
workshops tend to be a little longer, but these are
Okay.
little mini tastes of what I do, but for a slightly different purpose
Mm-hmm.
for now.
Yeah. So do you want to, I will have like dates for your upcoming
Yeah.
sessions, but yeah, I would, because I just feel like it's super important. And we're also going to talk about the fact that I don't consider myself a writer, and I have good reasons for that. And so,
And
but
it
I would,
doesn't matter.
yay.
Like to get you. I
Right.
know
And that's,
you wrote me that. I was like, oh, wait. Um,
yeah. So do you want to share about the
yeah.
sessions, and
So,
then we'll dive into that?
I think I've done this a few times before, that I've just I opened up and I said, like, what I do can help people who are going through emotionally difficult time. I think the first time I did it was after the 2016 election. I had,
Yeah, I remember that.
when it first happened, and then, let's write through the inauguration day, like exactly when it was happening. I was like, let's write. And
Right.
using the tool of writing to like get all the emotions on the page and out of your head.
Mm-hmm.
And that had gone so well that when this happened, I started thinking, well, let's do that for the whoever wants to join me.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit different than what I usually do, because I don't, sort of teach all the methods. We
Mm-hmm.
kind of do a very, very abbreviated version of some of the guidelines and how-tos and stuff like that. And then we just dive in and we
Mm-hmm.
write the shit out of how we're feeling, and we try to get present and sort of give ourselves space to like deal with the
Mm-hmm.
crazy, and so that's what we're doing. And it's an hour and 20 minutes that we meet, and so far it's been just an absolute delight,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's pay what you can.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love if somebody is really beat up by this financially. I don't want them to not be able to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
this is a business, and so I'm kind of hoping that if
Oh,
people
yeah.
have it, they will,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge that this is a business and that they want to support it. And but yeah, it's so anybody can come, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even non-writers.
even non-writers. Yeah, because see, here's
Yeah.
the thing that I know about you is you do write,
I
because
do.
you are on Instagram, and I read what you write on Instagram. You write some really great stuff. You are thoughtful. So I know that you do write.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say that a writer is somebody, I think this is actually, it's an animal Mott thing too, but I say it as well. So damn it, it's mine. A writer is somebody who writes, you
Right.
pick up a pen, you write,
Mm-hmm.
you type on your phone, you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we get so caught up. We've been educated out of feeling that we have something that we can express.
Right.
And I'd really love to hear your story, because my sense is that that's kind of what we're talking about, that
Mm-hmm.
you told me that you have
Oh, yeah. I have
red pen story.
a red pen story
Yeah,
from
I'd love to hear
10.
that.
Yeah. So the funny thing is I remember, I think this was 6th grade or 5th grade. We had career day. And so we had to dress up for what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I dressed up as an author, which is hilarious. What's even funnier is how I dressed up. I borrowed my mom's business suit, because this was in, I don't know when it was, late 70s. So this was when women started wearing business suits. So
Right.
I wore her business suit because I was as tall then as I am now, so I could do that. And I pulled my hair back in a bun, and I wore my glasses. So to me, that's what an
That's an
author looked
author.
like, right? Like nowadays, authors are like, if it was me, I'd be in my pajamas all day.
Pajama pants, right?
But in my 5th grade, 6th
Which I am
grade
wearing
head,
right now.
awesome. In my 5th grade, 6th grade head, that was what an author looked like. So
Right.
I was writing stories and poetry and stuff, as most young girls, women do. So until I got into 10th grade, and then we had to write a paper and I don't even remember what it was on, but we had to write a paper, basically a story synopsis of something that we had read. And what that qualified you for, if you passed, was you got to go into the creative writing English class. And I really wanted to be in the creative writing English class. I mean, seriously, like,
My heart is breaking before I know the
Yeah.
answer to the
yeah. So there was not much in my teenage years that I really, really wanted. And this was one of those things. And so I got it back. Mrs. Billingsley from 10th grade. Hey. um, yeah, no shit. And her red pen was all over it. And I didn't make it into the creative writing class. So I've always had this hang up. So, I had my hang-ups before, but I think that was just like in my mind just qualified me that I was not a writer. I am not good at grammar. Hell, I can barely speak sometimes.
Grammar
let
has
alone.
nothing to do with writing.
I know. I finally have gotten to that point.
Ooh,
I finally have
see
gotten
that.
to that point.
Good,
But yes.
good.
But we've gone through all this, like the English shoulds and the grammar shoulds, and then it can really kind of mess with you. I mean, I see that in all types of creative, whether it's
Yes.
writing or art, painting, drawing, making music. I mean, playing music, anything. I feel like we go through that structured learning, and it can really like squash it in you.
Yes.
And it's a sad thing. It really is a very sad thing.
Yeah, it pardon me, this is what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh no.
Yeah, right. Oh, no. But this is what breaks my heart, because I saw it coming when you started to, say what was happening and that you really wanted this creative writing.
Mhm.
And the thing is that that's what I mean about how we're educated out. I mean, we are originally taught writing, I think, backwards. We're taught, okay, we're going to write a story about, it's a book report. We are going to write about the little engine that could.
Right.
And we are going to do a book report about the little engine that could, and there has to be a topic sentence. And then we have to do the first paragraph. So it's the little engine that could is a story about, and this is what happens. And then we have transitional paragraphs, and then we talk about the challenges, and then we have the follow-up paragraphs. We talk about the problem. We do the denouement. We talk like,
right.
We get and we have to do, pardon me, we have to do outlines, and we have to get all that stuff down. And by then we're just so rigid. We don't know how to say what we really want to say, because we've been taught that there's a methodology, there's a way to do it.
Right.
And my thinking is that if you can tell a story, you can write. Mm-hmm. Because if you told that story about what happened, if you had to write it down, you may very well be stuck. Mm-hmm. Okay, where do I start? How do I talk about this? What do I say? But you told the story, and it just kind of flowed, and maybe it wasn't 100% direct, but and maybe I think it actually was. But if you tell a story and it goes, when you're telling a story, you don't always go from point A to point B. You sometimes go point A, and then you do a little side thing. You talk about, oh yeah, and that reminds me of blah, blah, blah. And then you get, oh, this is really what I meant. Mm-hmm. Right, here's where I'm going. And if we wrote like that, if we allowed ourselves to write like that, just write what's coming out and then go back. That's what fucking editing is for.
Right.
And if you can't edit your own stuff, that's why you hire editors, or you get a friend who's a good editor. I'm a good editor. Like you can get that sort of support. Grammar, who cares?
Yeah.
Somebody will know the grammar if you don't know the grammar. If you can't, I can't spell for shit. Yeah. I mean, my husband always wants to play Scrabble, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't spell.
Right.
Why would I play Scrabble? Because I put things down. He's like, that's not how you spell it. I'm like, that's how I spell it until autocorrect changes it for me.
That's right.
Fuck you. So I think those, the ability to just get the stuff on paper, the things that you're feeling, the things that you want to share with the world, or even with people close to you. Yeah. If you get it, or yourself, get it on the page and don't worry about it being right or correct or having transitional phrases or grammar.
You mean I don't have to diagram the sentence? Do you remember having to do that?
I would not know how to diagram a sentence.
Neither.
Now, if they paid me. My sister was a middle school teacher, and so my sister could do that.
Right.
And if I needed to diagram a sentence, I would call my sister and I would be like, okay, show me how to.
I don't even know why you would need that.
No,
no.
You don't need to do it.
Yeah.
You just write what you want to write. And then, and if you want to be an author, if you still want to write creatively, you can still do it.
Right.
There's not a sell by date on your ability to do that.
Right.
So
right.
You can write it. And if people get editors. Like if you're going to write a book, they get editors. They fix it. They tighten it for you. They make it polished. So
yeah.
Well,
one
of my drop-ins, Carlene. You better.
So to circle back around, I will tell you that I have had a couple articles published, and I actually have written a chapter in a book. You can see it like back in here. My son gave me a shadow box. I wrote a chapter in a book, Mojito. So, and I have another chapter coming out. So I did not let that stop me. So I will just say that. Now it has taken a while. But what you mentioned is very interesting, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, this is another way of having us be conformed and then squashing the, just having us feel like we're not enough because of something we've learned. And so it's interesting, like even, and I'm sure that it has applied to boys as well as young, as well as girls. But what I thought of when you were sharing that, and especially in the work that you do, it's probably hard for some women to even feel like they have permission to let those feelings out, right?
Yeah. It takes time. It takes time. And when I first started doing this work, I want to say it's like almost 20 years, that I had people come to my workshops, and I had this thing that was like, no, I didn't want people to sort of qualify or do anything before they wrote, like, oh, this isn't very good, or before they read, because we share sometimes what we read. Nobody has to, but you can share what you've written.
Right.
And no clarifying. And what I found was these were very, very, very crafty women, and they would put that in their writing. They're like, oh, I'm not going to share this because this sucks, instead of this really sucks. I don't know why I'm writing, before they read it, but they put it in, because we're just so taught, and it takes so long to unlearn that feeling that there's a right way to do it. There's a right way to share what we want to say. And the one that really kills me, which I've written about plenty of times, is that feeling, particularly now I notice it, is that thing of, well, I shouldn't complain. I really can't complain.
Right.
Because, and I may have even done it on the top, I'm fortunate, but that's a little different. But I can complain. I can complain all I want, because this is my experience. It doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge that other people have it worse and way worse.
Right.
And people are going through horrific things right now, but I can complain that I'm terrified every time I go to the grocery store. That doesn't change my experience. My experience is my experience. So I try to encourage women to just, like, to have that permission. Like, what do you need permission to write? Like, what do you need permission to say? Yeah. Because somehow it gets chipped away. It gets chipped away. And we do get contained. I have this wonderful, I've had it for, 100 years, this wonderful picture of this really large woman with this man standing behind her. And was it like a card? And it says, woman who cannot be contained. And I just love that, because that's the whole thing. It's like, we got to kind of take the lid off. We got to take the lid off and just kind of.
Take up space.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I have a friend who tells me that all the time. Liz, it's okay to take up space. Got it.
Right. And we've been so trained that we have to tell ourselves that too. And we have to remind ourselves. What I find with writing is that you'll see over time that you say the same things to yourself. And after a while, it's kind of like, oh my God,
Yeah.
do I really feel that way about myself? I beat myself up or whatever that it happens to be
Right.
that you do. You start to see it. It's a wonderful mirror when you start to look at what you've written, or when you share in a group of other people who can kind of witness you and sort of hold space for you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely that awareness around, I think we go through so much of our lives being unaware. And so writing, I mean, you're right. I mean, if you're giving yourself permission just to pour it out on the paper, then, that's just kind of a mirror reflecting back at you. Especially when you see the same things coming up over and over. Yeah. So tell me about these sessions that you have. Do you have dates?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? And I should have.
Oh, that's okay.
I should have been prepared with that. Let me look. I do have them. Let me look on my. So the upcoming dates are. I've got one next week. And
okay.
Computer's not moving. I've got one on. Trying to do them at various times so that people from all over can drop in. So I've got one on May 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern time, May 13th at noon. These are all Eastern time. Okay. May 21st at 3:30 and June 2nd at 11:30. That's what I've got so far. Awesome. But if people want more information, they can find me.
Yeah, well, I will have all this information and where people can reach you, and a link to sign up, because it would be great. I think I'm going to look in to see what I can work in so that I can come and
yeah, I better see one.
Definitely. So for women who are right now feeling all the feelings, and what would you say is a good place for them to start right now with their writing to help them process this?
I think to kind of, one of the exercises that I do is completely clept from Elizabeth Gilbert. I do an exercise almost every time with women, and they can do it, and they would know. It's that to just write, to get really present, to try and get out of your head, is to write down 5 things that you see, 4 things that you hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Yeah. And that is just a simple, like, get present exercise. That's a really easy one to just kind of stop the spin. But beyond that, I think writing, just say what matters right now is a really good one. Like, what matters right now? I did in the very beginning, I had one and then it may be helpful to people too, is like, what is fear telling me? What is hope telling me, or what is confidence telling me? And then to kind of allow that to just see what it says on the page. And don't, if you start going off on a tangent somewhere else, don't hold yourself to any particular way that you have to go. Just sort of see what comes up, because once the pen is on the page, it kind of gives, it gives permission somehow. There's like this little, like, oh, she's listening. So the brain goes, okay, here we go. Here it comes. She's listening. So I think those are good places to start.
Oh, I think those are wonderful places to start. Definitely wonderful prompts to start with. So Deb, it's been great.
Oh, Liz,
I can't believe we've been in each other's orbit for so long. And so last week we talked about connection, and I just wanted to say this is another example of connection. I mean, we've been in this online space for a while, so we know connection can happen, but this is the first time you and I have really spoken like face to face, I think.
Yeah. And then we had a couple, I think we had email, or we had, we've had some.
I think you were going to be on my podcast, and then I went back to work full time. And so then all of a sudden having a podcast on top of that was
okay.
But it's just great that we've stayed connected, and and I have a feeling this won't be our last time. So yay.
Well, what I loved, and this is like totally unrelated to anything super important, but last week, as something to do, I had bought this long ago. I bought this like wash in, wash out.
Yes, that's right. You did.
and I put like pink at the tips of my hair. I put some
It
pink.
looks so
and
good.
then I looked, and I think you commented on my,
Uh-huh.
my thing, and then I, at the same time, like later, I'd gone on, and I'm like, she just pinked her hair too. Okay,
I
pink hair soul
do.
sisters.
That's
Mine,
right.
unfortunately, not quite as light as yours, so
Mhm.
it didn't show up good as well. So honestly,
Well, I've been using Overtone. It's a conditioner and you leave it in, and then there's a daily conditioner that kind of brightens it up. So
well, we'll see. Maybe I'll check that out.
I'm not even a sponsor.
Oh, the things that are so important when you're.
I know, when you have all this time.
Yeah.
And again, permission. Who
Right.
cares? If you have
Yeah.
pink hair, no one's going to see
I know,
you.
right? My husband didn't even notice. He was like, I was waiting to see. He's like, yeah.
Yep. Well, Deb, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing
Thanks for
about,
having me.
yeah,
I'm
about,
really glad you're doing this. I think it's
you.
really, like you said, now more than ever.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this time is really shining a light on things that most likely were happening beforehand. And this is just giving us permission and opportunity to talk about them. I wanted to say there's Cindy said, I truly believe our childhood dreams can be our midlife goals. So she made a comment on our.
Oh,
on
that's
our,
great. I
yeah,
didn't, I can't see the Facebook
yeah,
thing right now.
that's
So
okay.
I'll
That's
go
okay.
back later and see if there are any comments or anything like that.
Yeah.
Love to.
Definitely. Yeah. Come and interact. And I'll put all the information in the notes and then also the show notes for the podcast. So yeah, thanks so much, Deb.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I love your twinkle lights. I think I'm going to have to, as I'm cleaning up, I think I'm going to have to add some twinkle lights.
I have fairy lights in like, not every room in my house, but in a lot of.
Yeah. Well,
They
why
make me so
not?
happy.
That's right. That's right.
As that thing over there says, glitter is always an option.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah. A friend of mine
Love
gave
it.
me that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Deb. And
Thank you.
as
Thanks
I
for
end
everybody who
this
tuned.
meeting, it's going to cut us off, but we'll catch up later.
Okay.
So, all right. Bye.
Thanks, babe.
Facebook
Bye.
land. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining Liz for the Midlife Schmidlife podcast. Remember, some days are never on your calendar until you put them there. Until next time.